Hello everyone, Hector here from the FanRide Podcast. I'm going to review the new PSN or PlayStation Remote Play for the PC, which I'm super excited for. Obviously, I've been using the third-party one here. It was Remote Play by the developer Twisted. But guys, please stick around. I'll show you the details and what's different, what's maybe worse or better than the Twisted's version, unofficial version. So stay tuned after the break. Alright folks, welcome back from that brief intro. We're going to go ahead and try this PlayStation Remote Play. Here I have the third-party one. Most of you guys have tried it already. And here is the PlayStation's version. You actually don't need the PS4 Windows driver, obviously because it's built into the PSN. The driver's already installed, or it installed while you installed the remote PS4 Remote Play. Which now, if you notice when I unplug it and I plug it back in, as I'm doing now, you can hear that driver notification, which is excellent. So we're going to go ahead and try to connect. Hopefully the PlayStation has not disconnected from the network, or at least gone to sleep. So here you go. Now I already have mine connected. When you originally connect it, you're going to get a PSN login prompt. Which is gonna what actually connects you to your PS4. You don't have to do any pairing, which can be kind of annoying. It's not a big deal. I mean, like, you do it with Plex and a whole bunch of other software and server things that you connect to the PS4. However, here with Remote Play, it pretty much does everything for you. The update together paired with the software for the PC installs drivers. It pairs it using your PSN ID, which is great. So you don't have to go back and forth and enter a code and all that kind of crap that you have to do with the third-party one. So actually, I'm going to exit this again just to show you a few other things. I forgot to show you guys the initial settings, so I'm going to exit here. And let's start it again. Check for an update. So the settings are actually right before you attempt to log in. So I put it at the highest settings at 720p, a high frame rate. The frame rate, I think, the highest is 60 hertz. And I believe, however, it doesn't render at 1080p, which kind of sucks. But that's basically the same option you have for the Remote Play PC by Twisted. So you don't need to sign in already. I've already signed in. My credentials are already on there, so I don't need to do anything else. And I already connected to my PS4. Actually, it did it all on its own. All I had to do was log in, which was terrific. So again, let's go back and go ahead and start this. Apologize for backtracking there. So it takes a little bit to connect. It doesn't take too long. I'd give it about 30 seconds to a minute, depending if your PS4 is turned on or not, or if it's gone to sleep. Depending on your settings. But it's fairly quick. I mean, it's not too bad. Remote Play PC by Twisted takes about the exact same amount. Maybe it's a little quicker. However, it's paired differently, and first of all, I'm gonna tell you how I paired it or how I got the best resolution or the best connection using wireless network and having my PS4 far away from my actual desktop. I got my desktop, my server, everything, my router in my bedroom because I have a desk in there, and I have my desktop hardwired, which I want because I have a backup server that's also hardwired, and I want to be able to control my backups, my videos, and stuff that I can stream to Plex. So what I did, I bought a couple of extenders, and I pretty much daisy chained them together, so my connection is actually pretty high in the living room. However, I have 3 access points, and I also have the one that comes with the the Xfinity box, which I don't use because it's garbage. So the difference already that I noticed in the network connection was with the Twisted version of the Remote Play. The great thing about that was that I didn't have to connect to the extender. I actually I mean, you can still do it on the PS4, but it doesn't. The quality is way different. So the best connection I got for Twisted was my desktop being hardwired to the network, and then the PS4 connected to the extender, which gives a higher download rate to the PS4, and then I'll correct it directly, so I'm actually pulling the data through the network. But however, there's a lot more loopholes, a lot more packets that run through there. With that said, the Twisted version ran a lot better when I was hardwired, or running a hardwired connection to my desktop and then wireless onto the extender from to the PS4. The connection was pretty good, and I did see some hiccups, but not as bad. And what I'm noticing here is it ran in reverse. Or not in reverse, but I got the opposite result. When I first started running the PS4 Remote Play, I had the exact same setup. I reset the router, reset the extender just to be on the safe side, and it was very choppy. As soon as I started playing on high resolution, it started chopping up. And so what I did is that I disabled my network adapter, Ethernet adapter, and I enabled my Wi-Fi, as I have a motherboard that has built-in Wi-Fi with an extended antenna. So what I did is that I connected the desktop to the extender as well. So both the PS4 and the extender are running on the exact same router without having to go through the hardwiring and through the network, obviously pushing more packets with a bigger chance of losing packets. And however, like I said, on the Twisted side, the Twisted version of this, it ran fine, but on the PS4 it wasn't having it. So I connected them to the same extender, and the network is now running great. So with that said, sorry for the rant, but I just want to let you guys know, if you guys are going to set up on the network, just save you some time. Try to connect it to the exact same router. If you can do Wi-Fi, I recommend extenders if your PS4 is out in the living room like mine is. So that's the reason this was good for me. The PS4 Remote Play was something I was looking for, but we'll get into that into the detail. I have Dying Light here running, obviously. This game's been out for a while. I just haven't really played it that much, and for obvious reasons, because the PS4 is over there, and I'll explain why later. So I already connected, and the game was already on pause because obviously I was trying to test it. And let me show you how it looks here. So here's the game, and obviously I'm not doing so well. My heart level is low, and the zombies are fucking me up. Because I'm trying to figure out a way to get into that building. But I'm gonna do some, some presses here. Just, so the buttons are very accurate. They're instant. I'm not seeing a delay at all whatsoever on the network, nor on what the hell. Oh my goodness! So I'm probably gonna die. So it's a little hard to actually play the game and stay focused. But here, let me do a quick. Oh wow, fuck me up. So I'm doing quick spins, runs, trying to see if I can get if there's any hiccups running around, anything that will, cause a delay, cause any type of, hiccup, network, bit rate break or anything like that. And so far, it's running good. Oh goodness, I got tired. So I guess the only downside to this is that the quality is, semi-decent. You can tell that I'm not running here at full screen. Is this guy climbing? He sure is. I need to get to the save zone sometime soon. He's still following me. But you notice that the quality is kind of decent, and I've kept the windows small because I have an ultra-wide screen, and even though the resolution is still 1080p, it looks a little grainy. And this is both for the PS4 and the Remote Play. They haven't gotten to that level yet where you can run this at 1080p. Obviously, networks are catching up. I mean, I'm running like I think 50 megabytes per second. But oh my goodness, you're still coming. Okay, so sorry there. So I'm gonna try to go full screen here in a second so you guys can see the quality. And I'm recording on high quality as well, so what you see what you're gonna get. These guys are still coming after me. These freaking climbing zombies. So, all right. So here's some of the options you can. Oh, shit. So sorry, man. What a fail. All right. So I'm pausing this now. And you can actually access the PlayStation button, the share button, the options button straight from the screen. And you can use the remote. I mean, as soon as I connected the remote, it paired up right away to the PC. So it's not kind of like cross connecting to the PS4 and to the PC. It's connected directly to the PC, obviously, because the driver alert comes up when the PlayStation controller is plugged in. Also, the color changes to like the charging color. Actually, it changes to more like a pink color. But it's not connected directly to the PS4 anymore. So here it's pretty simple. It just has the open screen there, kind of like standard expand, and you have the options here. So you'll see it on the actual screen pop up on the right side, which is kind of cool. And so I'm going to try to show you. So you can tell already that it's slightly grainy. I'm going to start playing, and hopefully I don't die, and if I do, whatever. So as you can tell, it's a little grainy, but the connection is really decent. And again, it's going to depend on your network or how you have your network set up. If you're not a network person, I suggest you do some, a little bit of research, get your stuff set up properly. If your PS4 is far away, if you have a hardwired network on your wall, that's the best thing. I mean, if you have your own home. If I had my own, I rent out a condo here, but if I had my own house, I would literally run cables through the wall and put in hardwired Ethernet ports in each room, so I can hardwire everything. Obviously, I can't do that because I'm renting the joint and I'm about to die. I'll let it in the garbage. That's the ultimate setup. That's something that I would love to do and love to have, but I can't do it. So I have to deal with extenders and Wi-Fi routers. And one can say, you can put your PS4 in the bedroom, but it's part of my entertainment system, so I don't want to drag it over here unless I buy a second one. So I went I decided to do a trick where you daisy chain your routers. You get extenders and you daisy chain them. I'm dead. So you daisy chain them, and your network connection will be a lot higher. So, for example, my router is in my bedroom, so the next router is in the dining room, and then the following extending router is in the living room. Also, we're hearing a little bit of hiccup now, if you noticed that. But so the megabytes is a lot higher if you're just connected directly to your Wi-Fi router, as that far away. I mean, that's obvious. And now I'm in a safe zone. So the megabytes per second in the living room for me is about 12 to 18 megabytes per second, which is decent. Actually, I was planning on getting an additional extender to daisy chain and then hardwire that router, and my megabits per second should be slightly higher. Not extremely higher, but slightly higher because it's still running through network connection. Anyways, you notice here how grainy it is. This is the kind of quality you're gonna get when you're running through the network. It's a 720p high frame rate. However, the connection, it's still sending the data. If you stand still, actually, the quality is a little better. Once you start moving around, it's a little grainier, but it's very responsive. So, do I like it better than the Twisted's version? Yes, in the sense that it was super easy to install. Twisted's version wasn't that much harder. I did have to install the drivers, and then you have to have that app open in order for it to I have the light flashlight on. In order for it to recognize your controller, whereas the PlayStation one, it just went ahead and just recognized everything and installed everything for you. All I had to do was install it in the living room, and then or in the PS4, I'm sorry, I'll do the update and install the software, plug in the remote, connect and sign in. That was it. And whereas in the Twisted version, I had to also map your controller, and I don't know if people have used it before. So mapping the controller can be a little difficult. I use several connected controllers. I have obviously the PS4 one, and then I have Xbox Microsoft versions that I connect to play other games to my PC, and not the DS4, but the not the driver, but the actual software, the remote play by Twisted, routing the controller. It's a little shifty because it won't recognize the D-pad when you're trying to map it. So what you have to do is you can actually double map buttons to certain other buttons, and that can be slightly annoying. I guess what I had to do was map it to share. So, like for example, on this game, I had to map the D-pad, the touchpad to share, and when I would hit share, this map that you see here would pop up, and then the share network window would pop up, and then I would have to hit circle and go back, and then I would go back to this thing. So it was it wasn't that bad, but however, having to remap buttons and like the PlayStation button didn't work at all. I would have to map it to like L trigger towards the end of my gaming when I wanted to exit. So that was slightly annoying. So the mapping wasn't all there completely. But look, this is a developer who decided to do it on his own. So kudos to him. I couldn't possibly imagine coding this. I do code, but I couldn't imagine spending the amount of time he did. And he was charging the fee for $10, which is decent. I mean, he put in a lot of hard work, so I definitely paid for it, and it worked pretty decent. But I definitely recommend using the official one, just because it's so streamlined, and you know it just works well, and it's slightly buggy still in the sense that it's not completely. You can tell that it's not complete. I mean, it's very kind of. There's not that many options. When you pick the resolution, it doesn't technically tell you 30 to 60 frames per second, or there's no real HD connection to this. It's not HD, even though it's 720p. It's gonna be grainy, and that's the kind of stuff you see when you stream gaming. And this to me is a convenience, and the convenience is because I have a family. My son sleeps in the near the living room, not in the living room, but his bedroom's over there. So it's hard for me to game late at night. That's actually the only time I really have to play because I work during the day, and family time. My son's karate, homework, all that kinds of stuff happens in the afternoon, and dinner and everything, and not till about 9, 10 o'clock do I actually get to sit down and play. And I don't want to sit in the living room playing video games while my son's sleeping in the bedroom. Him waking up to use the washroom, it's just gonna throw him off. It's gonna throw me off. And I lately, even though I have a PS4 and I have a several amount of games, I've been PC gaming a lot because I can sit in my bedroom PC game for a couple hours and go straight to bed. And I've actually got a bunch of games this Christmas that I had not opened because I didn't want to spend too much time in the living room. And I plan on getting a second PS4 to have in the bedroom because connected to my HD monitor. But you don't always have $400 to just drop like that. There's priorities and whatever. So I started using the remote play by Twisted, which was fine. But once Sony released an official one, I was really very excited because now I'm playing obviously this old game, Dying Light, that's been sitting in my drawer for a while. I have Call of Duty 3 and Star Wars Battlefront and a bunch of other games that I want to play that I just don't have the time for. Or I don't want to inconvenience my son or whoever. So it's a lot easier to me to just go to the living room. Yeah, it's inconvenient to go over there and pop in another game, but it's whatever. That's not such a big deal. Pop in a game, you're gonna play for a few hours. You want to swap games, go back, swap it. But anyway, going on a tangent there. I'm not gonna give it a score. Obviously, this is it's fairly fresh. It's almost feels beta. The options are very limited. I had connection issues at first, which I fixed, and that's mostly due to people's networks. Not their fault, but I guess the way they connects is different. Obviously, it's not paired in the sense you're technically connected via the PlayStation Network or your PlayStation ID, which is slightly different on how you're connected. You're still connected to the network, but you're signing in to pair instead of pairing through the standard device pairing that you do when you're connecting another device. like a Plex Media server, whatever it is. I think it's Twisted did an amazing job on his. He's a terrific developer, but I think this PlayStation Remote Play is far superior in the sense that it's clean. Yes, it's missing of options, and it's very kind of vague, and not there's not too much detail. It's running on 720p. However, not much. There's not much many options out there. You're pretty much this is what you're stuck with for now. Both Twisted's and PlayStation's version both run 720p. They pretty much have the exact same quality. So if you're looking to upgrade your quality, you're not going to get much of a difference. The only real upside is that it's official. It's easy to install. You don't have to map your remote. Your remote's going to run like a regular PlayStation. Your touchpad, everything's going to work. And you don't have to get special drivers. You don't have to have the driver software open in order for the control to work. And it's just a lot cleaner. And so I expect a lot of new updates to come, and some new fixes, maybe some network bugs that are in there that we haven't discovered yet. I mean, I've been playing this for just about an hour, and so obviously there's a lot more to deal with here, and a lot more to discover. So I'm gonna have to do an update video on this, but that's basically it. And again, the quality looks pretty decent, and here I'm spinning around, and it's not crackling, it's not breaking. The network is connected fine. Even though there are some devices out there that when you stream a video, or depending on the chip that's inside that device, like say a Chromecast, or like the Roku stick compared to the Roku HD or 4K, your quality might change, your performance might change, because it's depending not only on the network, but it's also depending on the chip, the CPU that it has built in. Whereas like here, you're running it off a PC. If you have a pretty decent computer, you're not going to get the performance issue if the network connection is properly connected, it's properly set up. So guys, thanks again for watching. I just wanted to give you guys an overview of the PlayStation Remote Play, or the PS4 Remote Play, and so you can kind of see for yourself. But again, guys, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm still discovering. I'm going to play this for a couple hours, and just see how it performs. So far, it's performing pretty well. It's doing, in the network wise, it's doing slightly better than Twisted's. It's about the same connection, same quality. And however, since the network got set up properly, I haven't had any issues. Whereas in the Twisted, once in a while I would get a hiccup, and if you noticed earlier, I got just a small audio hiccup, but it wasn't nothing, to get upset about. Again, guys, thanks again for watching, for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoy it. Go ahead, and you guys have any questions, send me a message. You can contact us on Twitter at thefanright, or you can go to thefanright.com, or you can just message me directly through here. Guys, have a great week. Enjoy PS4 Remote Play.